Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Infinite Abilities Podcast. I am your host, Nick Earhart, and we are here to encourage each other to find our own unique abilities. Let's go. All right, everyone. So today we have Allan, and I met Allan, about a month ago now, and we've
Yeah,
been
about a
doing
month
some
ago.
things together. So it's really cool, and I'm learning a lot about his business, his industry, and what he does to help others. So let's get started. Allan, can you tell the audience what your business is and what you do?
Sure. So my name is Allan Fakhri, and I am the owner of Frontline Safety and Compliance LLC. And we do various different things, but it's all in the lines of safety, right? So we do everything from managing safety programs, creating safety programs, enhancing those safety programs, and then everything that goes into that. But the main part of our business also that we're trying to really get into is the fire extinguisher safety side of it. So inspection of fire extinguishers, servicing in them, everything to do with fire extinguishers and fire safety.
Awesome. That's really awesome and so important. You know, I've worked in many places that didn't take safety that seriously, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah, I've been doing safety, whether it's safety training, safety management, whatever the case is, for over 15 years now. And I will say it has gotten better over the years. But it is still something that it's a struggle, and it's a struggle for various different reasons, but the main one is the struggle between operations and safety. Obviously, companies have to make money, and that comes from the operations that they do, and sometimes some employers, some companies view safety as a hindrance, view safety as slowing down production, whatever the case is, right? So that's always been a struggle in any industry.
Yep, that for sure. I've seen that a lot. Um, so what kind of got you started in all this? Like, what did you do before this?
So it goes way back. So actually, right out of high school, I joined the military, joined the army. Um, and when I joined the
Thank you for your
army,
service.
oh, thank you. So when I joined the army, I originally wanted to be an MP, military police. Um, I think the recruiter actually pulled a fast one on me. And when I got to the swearing in stage, informed me that there were no slots available for MP. Um, and then wanted to show me a video and discuss my options. He showed me a video of infantry, which on video looked amazing. This guy was, I mean, he's a recruiter, he's a salesman,
Yep.
and he sold me on infantry like that. And it was nothing that I saw in the video. So, long story short, I did just under 10 years Army infantry. When I got out of the military, there was not a lot of skills that I had to translate into civilian world unless I wanted to be, you know, corrections, which I did that for a short time, police officer, security, anything along those lines. I could have done that easily, but not really where I wanted to see my life in the next 20 years, whatever the case was. Um, had some connections in the oil and gas industry, doing safety, and that's actually where I got my start. Did a few courses, started working offshore, and then got into other aspects of safety throughout that career. So that's
Wow.
essentially how I got into it.
That's it's a really cool story because you know, it's so far off from what you do now,
Yes,
So it's cool how that all evolved and got you to where you are today. And now you're doing something that you like doing, something that you're passionate about.
100%. I think you hit the key word there, Nick, and that's passion. And I think for
Hmm.
anybody that is doing safety, that has any safety role within a company, that passion has to be there. You have to love what you do. You have to have a desire for what you do. Otherwise, I don't want to say you're not going to be good at it, but you're not going to have the impact that you're going to be looking for.
Yep. Yep. I know there was one place that I worked and, you know, safety was like, as far as like whole company-wide safety, making sure that we're compliant with all the laws and everything. That kinda came in after I was already working there, I don't think it was done right. It was just basically, "You need to do this or else." And it's like, let's have some training around this and explain why and all that. And so I kind of took it into my own hands with the people I worked with to kind of explain all of that. And I had to learn a lot.
You know, and that's a great point, and that's where, a lot of companies fail at is, again, they know they have to be in compliance. So they mandate those compliances within their workforce. But what they're not doing is they're not building the culture. And just like you said, they're not training, they're not explaining why. And and look, at the end of the day, if they're mandating it, the employees are complying, that's fine. But what I
Yeah.
strive to do is to get the employees to want to work safe, to buy into the safety, to buy into the culture that we're pushing, right?
Hmm.
It's not about just following policies and procedures. At the end of the day, it's about going home. At the end of the day, it's about not getting hurt, whether it's a nick on the finger, whether it's, um, you know, worse than that, right? Amputations or worst case scenario, death. We don't
Yeah.
want any of that to happen, no matter how minor. Nobody should get up in the morning, go to work, and get hurt.
I agree. And you shouldn't feel like it's something like I have to use these things or I have to do things this way. It should be more I get these things to keep me safe. Like this is a blessing to keep myself safe. And that's how people should look at it.
100%. And again, that's a big struggle. And even, for someone seasoned as myself, you're talking about changing mindsets. You're talking about changing beliefs within individuals and things like that who come from all different walks of life, different
Yep.
cultures, everything. So it's uh it's a tough job, but with the right commitment, with the right person in place running the program and the commitment from the leadership team, all that is necessary. And you have those two, you're going to make it work.
Yep, exactly. And for you, are you going into the businesses to like teach them and train them, or is that something else?
Yeah, no. So
Yep.
I
Cool.
do all of that. So again, a big part of it is just like we said, making sure number one, uh, any company that I work with, I always do a free consultation, and that just it gives me the opportunity to review their programs, look at their safety manuals, see what they currently have in place. Because you know what, there might not be a lot to fix there, right? There may not be. And then I like to do walkarounds. Then I also like to talk to some of the employees, which, some of those conversations may be a little subjective, right? Um, and I take some of those with a grain of salt. But I like to get a good understanding of what's going on. And, that might be an hour, that might be 3 hours, it might be a whole day for me to really spend out there. And again, this is at no charge, just to get an understanding of the operations, the mindset, and try to get a feel for the culture, which you're not always going to get the feel of the culture within a day, but you should have some sense of kind of where you need to start. And training is a part of that, whether it's um, OSHA compliance training, making sure they have the basic courses such as lockout, tag out, things of that nature, but also orientation. And that's where I see a lot of companies fail is new employee orientation. You get a new employee that comes in, they may be new to that company, they may have experience in that field, but they may be new to that company, different machinery, whatever the case is. But let's take it a step further. They also may be new to that industry. They may be brand new to everything that that company does. And some companies do a really good job with orientating them, getting them to, number one, review the policies, the procedures, get all the training that's required, and go over the hazards of what they're going to be faced with on a daily basis. But there are some companies that just take them and they throw them out there, and hopefully they make it
Yep.
because, again, they have production.
Hmm. Yep. Now, what kind of companies do you work with the most? Is there like a certain type or just kind of anything?
It's anything, honestly,
Okay.
because the way I look at it, and you know, I'm open to anybody trying to correct me wrong. I'm open to any suggestions. However, I firmly feel that no matter what industry, safety is universal. Whether it's construction, whether it's oil and gas, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's, whatever. I believe that yes, different, obviously different industries, different practices, different equipment, but the safety practices are the same, right? Talking about building that culture, training your employees, making sure they understand the expectations of the company when it comes to the safety program, um, and then just building off of that. So I think honestly, my philosophy is safety is universal. Now, of course, we have to make it site specific. We have to make it industry specific, but that's the easy part as far as I'm concerned, right? Learning what that industry is, what the rules and regulations are, what the best practices are with that specific industry. That's the easy part. Going in, changing the mindset, getting people to build in that culture. That's the hard.
Yep, it is. Now, when your, clients need safety equipment, do you provide that or do you help them get it?
Yeah, so it's kind of two parts. Again, some companies already have this in place, and I try to do whatever is easy for them. And if they're happy with what they're doing, I do try to streamline it. I do try to give them recommendations. And also, I do have some contacts where um, I've been dealing with them for a long time. I could get something maybe cheaper than what they're doing. But back to that, to kind of back up on that, one thing with the safety equipment that I do is I evaluate it. I evaluate their program and to make sure that the safety equipment they're using, number one, is necessary. Because we talk about some companies not doing enough. There are some companies that do too much and they don't think they're doing too much. And I'm very appreciative of the initiative that they're doing, but it may not be necessary. So we evaluate those programs, evaluate their needs, and we kind of go from there. So to answer your question, yes, I do work with others that I could get them in touch with them and streamline that process.
That's really nice that you're just kind of the all in, one shop, you know?
That's what I'm trying to do, trying to
Yeah,
be the one-stop shop for safety, whether it's, safety policies, audits, compliance, fire extinguishers, you name it.
yeah, and when you're running a company, that's what you want. You want one contact that you can rely on, that you can call and be like, "Hey, I need this now," you know?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yep. So that's really awesome that you take care of everything.
Yeah, and here's the thing, I know others in the safety industry, whether they just do training, whether they, whatever they do, I have a lot of contacts that I'm not afraid that if somebody asks me to do something and I can't do it or it's not in my wheelhouse, um, I have no problem contacting somebody, putting them two in touch to perform that particular service. So at the end of the day, yes, I want the business, but I also want you to be in compliance. I want your employees to be safe. I want your employees to go home, and anything I can do for that, even if that means passing on to somebody else to take care of that for you, that's what I'm here to do.
I love that, and a lot of business owners aren't humble enough to do this, and, people shouldn't look at, competition. Everybody has, competitors and they compete, and I don't like to compete. Like, there's enough business for all of us. Let's just make sure that we provide our clients or somebody else's clients the best service that we can.
100%. I agree with you. I mean, like I said, we're all in this to, I'm running a business. I'm trying to make a living, right? But at the end of the day, I have a mission, and that mission is to get everybody to go home. And again, I'm very selective on who I'll uh, request to do any services on my behalf. But I know some good contacts. I know some good people, and as long as they continue to do a good job for what they do, I'm happy.
Yep, that's awesome. What would you say that the one major drive is for you to do this?
Again, just I know it sounds cliche, and I know probably every safety person says it, and that is again just the passion for the people going home. I've seen a lot of horrific injuries, um, not just in my safety career, but just overall from the day I joined the military to Today I've just seen lots of horrible accidents. I've also seen and been part of fatalities. So again, that is my passion and my driving force. But on top of that, Nick, I'm going to tell you, I got a 16-year-old son who is just now getting into the workforce, and I again, I want to make sure that any workforce he goes into, any industry that he goes into, that they have the proper safety programs in place, that they are going to take care of my son, and my son is going to be safe while working and doing something for any company. Um, and that's the way I look at it. That is always going to be somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's husband, somebody's wife. That at the end of the day, when they kiss them goodbye in the morning, I promise you, is the last thing in their mind thinking, I may not see this individual today. So that is my driving force, because I want that for everybody. And anything I can do to help that and to make that happen and to strengthen those chances, that's why I do this.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for what you do.
No, I appreciate that.
And where are you located? Like, what's the region that you serve?
So I'm in San Antonio, Texas. I serve um, all of San Antonio. I will, there's no geographical boundaries as far as Texas. Now, you know, domestically within the US, there are no geographical boundaries either. Um, but again, it would just be uh, I can go anywhere. But however, there's a lot now that we can do virtually. So a lot of the stuff that I could do, we could do virtually. Obviously, doing site visits and things like that, as long as it's cost effective, I have no problem going anywhere in the country and helping anybody to strengthen uh, their safety program.
That's really awesome that you're not restricted to one area, you know,
No, absolutely
and
not.
these days, that's what I love about being in business now is we can help people from anywhere, you know,
Absolutely.
and your stuff is, you gotta kind of focus on the US because you know the rules and the regulations and all that, so you've got the whole US at your fingertips at any time because of platforms like this where we can talk online. you know, if you need a client to do a walkthrough of a warehouse, they can easily do that right now online, so it's
Absolutely.
really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And how can people reach out to you and work with you?
So they can go to my website, which is www.frontline S as in Sam, C as in Charlie.com. They can contact me at my email address, which is uh, my first initial last name. So A Fakhri, excuse me, at frontlinesc.com. Or they can contact me on my phone, which is 210-997-7688.
All right, awesome. And I will put all that in the show notes so everybody can get a hold of you.
That's great.
All right. And I have one last question that I ask everybody.
Okay.
So, my slogan is "Your abilities are infinite." What does that mean to you?
You know, it means a few things. I'm just trying to gather the thoughts. But again, so I'll tell you this, Nick. To answer your question, I'll kind of go into a little backstory. I've wanted to be an entrepreneur for years, absolute years, to the point of where I was willing to do anything: pressure washing, junk hauling, anything that I could do to be my own boss, provide a service for somebody else. And I was looking at all these different things and researching all these different things that I knew absolutely nothing about. And then one day, a light bulb went off, and I was like, why am I chasing all these other things that I know nothing about when I could start doing what I know? And the reason why it's taken me so long is fear, right? I am, and I'm not bragging, but I am great at what I do. But having a full time job, having a full time salary, that was security for me. Doing this business, starting it from scratch, from the ground up, it's scary as hell. Um, but I'm doing it. So again, for me, I think that's kinda how I answer the question. I mean, yeah, I it's 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 a struggle at times. It's scary every day,
Yep,
but I know it's gonna get there, so the possibilities are infinite, and I know that I keep pushing, I keep getting up every day, and I keep doing it every single day. I just need to get those customers, and I know that once I get those customers, I'm gonna keep those customers, because I am good at what I do, and not just I'm good at what I do, I care, right? So, I do, that's, and I did hear that heard that slogan the other day, watching one of your podcasts, and, um, yeah, I think that's phenomenal because again, possibilities are infinite. You just have to get up and do it.
yep. Thank you, and I resonate with that a lot because I just left my job about a little over 2 months ago now. So I have been I had a full-time job in the business for, like, 3.5 years, kinda doing everything, and finally, I was like, You know what? I gotta go all in on this because" but right as at the time, I was just kinda tiptoeing, you know? It wasn't something that I had to do, I had a job, I got paid, so it was just like and now since we went full in, it's been incredible, and my business has grown so much in the last 2 months, it's unreal.
Yeah, no, and congratulations on that. But let me ask you. So, what you said that I know that's your slogan, but what? So, what? How did you come up with that, and what does that mean to you?
So, me and my business partner, Kyle, when we were kinda getting the business going, I was like, "We need a slogan," and we were just driving in the car one day, and, um, I can't remember who said what, but one of us said, "Your ability," and then the other one said, "Our infinite." Like, it was just like both of us put together. And to me, what it means is that no matter who you are, you can do more than what you think. You have more abilities than you even know about, but you have to put in the effort to figure out what you can do. So don't let other people tell you you can't. Don't let other people hold you back. Just do whatever it takes to get stuff done and become the person that you want to be in life.
Absolutely, that's fantastic, and I resonate with that. I mean, I never thought in a million years I'd be on a podcast, number 1. Number 2, the things that I'm doing as a business owner, going to events, talking to people, and just going up and talking to people. That's not
Mhm.
my strong suit,
Yep.
but I've had to get out of my comfort zone with so many various different things, because I know that it's pertinent for what I'm trying to build. So, no, I resonate with that. So that's great.
You just made me think of something, and that is, like 4 or 5 years ago, kind of before I got started in all this, I I was so insecure, and I was constantly worried about what other people were thinking of me that when I would go out in public, I would stutter so much when I talked to a stranger that, like, if I went to a restaurant, I couldn't order food because I was just in stutter. Now, I really still, still happens, but very rare. But that's because, like, I'm confident with myself now. I don't care about what other people think. And honestly, the podcast has helped me grow so much just by talking to strangers every single day. I don't get nervous anymore. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I still get nervous, but I push through that because again, it's new to me. But yeah, I mean, you and I are in the same boat. I mean, I'm the same way. There were times, you know, where I could go somewhere. We'll just call it like a cigar lounge or something. I can go to a cigar lounge. I could sit there for 3 hours and be very content, just being by myself, not talking to anybody. But I can't do business that way. So I had to break out of that. And again, when I'm talking to people, I'm very personable. At
Mhm.
least I think so. Um,
Yeah, you are.
but I was very content with not being social. So that's again just breaking out of that and getting out of your comfort zone. And again, just like you said, not caring what people think, because the people that I encounter, I may never encounter them again. I don't care what they think of me,
Mhm.
because
Exactly.
here's the thing. As soon as I get out of their purview, they're probably not gonna think of me again anyway.
No, exactly. But, like, you know who you are.
That's
So,
it.
all that matters is you know who you are.
I heard somebody say that as long as you are being true to your beliefs, it doesn't matter what people think.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. I agree with that 100%. All right, Alan, we should probably wrap this up. This was amazing episode. I learned a lot. I know the listeners did, and now they know who to contact for all of their safety needs.
Hey, Nick, I can't thank you enough. Again, we've been working together about a month, so I can't thank you enough for that and everything you've done so far. But thank you again. This has been a phenomenal conversation. It's absolutely a pleasure speaking with you as well. So thank you for this opportunity.
Of course, and we will do it again down the road.
Sounds good, Nick.
Awesome. If you enjoyed this show, please go ahead and share it on your Instagram story and tag me in it, the Nick Heart. Also, go ahead and share it anywhere else that you see fit, because the only way that I can grow this is by you guys sharing it. I don't sell anything on here. I don't have any sponsors, so let's just get it out there by word of mouth and help more people. Alright, everyone, remember your abilities are infinite.